Welcome to the 2018 Bald Move Awards, also known as the Baldies. This is the official award show for Bald Move. I'm your host, Jim.
And I'm your co-host for this evening, Aaron.
We have assembled a bevy of categories that we're going to go through here. And we've had hours of deliberations, which are probably up on the site already, and you can check those out at baldmove.com if you're interested in seeing why we chose the things we chose here and what our justifications were. Let's get started with the first category. What is that, Aaron?
Well, the introduction, because I want to lay out. This is a kind of unconventionally conventional award show, and this is also our 5th annual. It's a big milestone. I had delusions of grandeur about what we could do with it, and as usually happens, things got in the way. There is a few improvements. I'm wearing an actual sport jacket.
Oh, very nice. I've got a jacket of my own.
But if you know, like, so award shows are like, whatever. The pros of our award show is it's just as valid as any other award show for the subjective appreciation of art and artists. So
I agree.
Also, people seem to like it, which explains the 5th annual aspect of it. We try to be transparent. If you don't know why something did or did not make the list, you can check the relevant deliberation for whatever category, and you can literally see us agonize over it. But, unlike other award shows that just kind of like rip open the envelopes and whatever, we try to like show our work, and also, for better or worse, it does generate kind of a snapshot of pop culture for that year. And it's fun to go back and look at like the 2016 to 2015 and see, repeat winners, turnover on the top 10. There's a lot of turnover this year. We noticed in our top 10, average quality of the shows and seasons, things like that. Con of the Baldies, which a lot of award shows share, is that we can only judge what we've personally seen. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are transparent about it, whereas you don't know what Martin Scorsese, why he selected Moonlight. Is it because that's his favorite one? Or is that the one that he thought everybody else was going with? Is it the only one he saw that year? Who the fuck knows? Because they don't show their work. Since we have a category called Biggest Miss, obviously that hammers home the fact that this is only the stuff that we've seen, and we do miss some things. Also, in my opinion, comedy actors get kind of screwed in this category because for whatever reason, our society and we as a product of that seems to put more emphasis on the skill of dramatic acting rather than comedic acting. And I think even pure comedies get screwed by dramedies in their own category. And I'm not sure what to do about that. And finally, Patrick Stewart, despite all of our attempts, continues to refuse to host. The Baldy, the Stewart, if you take home the Baldy Gold, you're taking home the Stewart. And it would be nice to get him on, before he beams into the next dimension.
I think you have to actually ask him.
Yeah,
if you want to get somebody on. Yeah, you probably have to ask them.
We should fire our agents and managers because they're just not making it happen. To remedy some of this, we've taken some actions. Like last year, we instituted for the first time ever user categories or listener categories. You use these guys. This is an application nor a drug, I don't think. Listener categories, and we swelled that up to 9 categories this year. We also added a listener nomination phase. So there was a phase where people could just nominate a show that we've seen or haven't seen to be on these categories. So that kind of plugged in one of the problems from last year. And over 1,000 bald movers cast their vote this year. So damn, that's a pretty good sample size of bald movers, I think. Now let us get to the first category, which is the top bald movie. And the other improvement we have this year, we have golden envelopes. So
I believe that's titled Manila. I believe that's the color.
They said gold, and they're slightly shiny. They're slightly shiny. So the nominees, in no particular order, are Annihilation, Black Klansman, Creed 2, Black Panther, Deadpool 2, and the winner is. Oh, these envelopes aren't fucking around.
Oh, no.
Annihilation!
Oh,
Give it up for Annihilation, winner of the 2018 Bald Movie.
Good stuff.
Good list, and I think that won probably on the strength of me and Jim being giant science fiction nerds, and Annihilation being a really fucking good, hard science fiction film that I thought about for weeks afterwards. But this is a pretty good top 5 list, I think. Black Klansman was awesome. Obviously, a big moment for Bald Move. Let's talk about the community scoring here. Avengers Infinity War 20%. I mean, this is just a popularity contest, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is just wrong. This, I mean, we could start right off the bat telling
Let's
the
snap our
users they're
fingers,
wrong.
boom. That the
Yeah.
20, but it got 20% of the vote, so a fifth of the people liked it the best. And you know, also this is, we don't give guidance, but if the users, if the listeners rather, sort that my programmer background just keeps coming up.
Viewers.
If the viewers / listeners do the same thing we do, they blend the commentary and their subjective enjoyment of the film together. So maybe did we do a really funny Avengers Infinity War podcast?
That I feel like Thanos took the Infinity Gauntlet to my memory of that movie. And I it's just a blank space in my head. Yeah,
he pried that gem out of your brain. Black Klansman got 17%, Annihilation 12%, Black Panther 11%, and Bohemian Rhapsody scrapping up there for 8% of the total Bald Move vote.
I'm impressed with how much our picks lined up with our audience, actually.
Yeah, honestly. And, you know, you could easily make an argument for Black Klansman over Annihilation. And, in fact, you probably can listen to us to make those alternate arguments on the Deliberation podcast. But rounding out our top 10 was at 6, A Quiet Place, 7, Avengers Infinity War, 8, Bohemian Rhapsody, 9, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and 10, Mandy. Looking at that list, I do think we need to see better movies this year.
I think those are all good movies.
So that's Bald Movies. We're the night's already heated up. What's our next category, Jim?
Next up is the best live watch.
Okay, what the hell is a live watch?
Live watch is a baldmove.com feature where we watch a movie that is, let's say, obfuscated a little bit so that we don't get copyright stricken.
So the video and audio is degraded
by the copyright gods. Yeah. And we essentially just watch the movie and make jokes about it. And those are oftentimes a lot of fun. We're about to find out.
Usually they're almost always premium features, or we did it on Twitch over last summer. So this is a very insider Bald Move category.
It is, yeah. So it makes for a great user category. And this is only users. We did not pick our favorites of this.
Yeah.
So as I open this envelope, we'll find out what
Drum
the
roll.
best live watch is. You're going to have to do that for a while. These envelopes, whew,
They're not playing
sticky.
around. They're gold. They're gold. It's not the color paper. It's the quality of the adhesive.
Oh, here we go. In no particular order.
The nominees are
the community nominated Con Air, The Rock, Fred Claus, Tremors, and Vampire's Kiss.
Oh boy, there's some good ones.
And the winner is, with 21.25% of the vote, Con Air.
Wow, Con Air. Give it up for Nick Cage's hair, everybody. Because if it wasn't for that, I don't know it would have been half as entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, what were the other ones?
The Rock had 16%. Fred Claus got 13.
Okay.
Tremors got 12.
Okay.
Vampire's Kiss 7.
I didn't hear Tremors because I'm like, man, and I was shocked that Tremors wouldn't make it because I thought that thinking back, that might have been one of my favorites.
It was one of my favorites, but Con Air was quite good. I felt like The Rock, we did a really great rewrite of that, but I don't remember the live watch too much.
Well, it's a movie we're familiar. I mean, I think the best live watches are kind of the ones that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
So our joke making doesn't impact our understanding of the movie, which can often be the case. But hopefully we get to do a lot more of those in 2019. Twitch keeps making noise about maybe having an official way to support that on the platform. And if so, boy, are we going to be day one adopters of that.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for our next category, Jim, which is the biggest miss. This is another user category, but Bald Move as an institution also weighed in. And we have... These are... So biggest miss is a category that is essentially where Jim and I fucked up. We didn't have our finger on the pulse of Bald Move or the pop culture wrist, or we were too busy, so we didn't have the time to cover it, or for whatever reason, these are things that kind of made a big splash and we didn't get a chance to cover and opine on them. The nominees in no particular order: Homecoming, Season 1, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Bird Box, A Star is Born, and The Walking Dead Season 9A. Let's see who won the biggest miss. The Walking Dead season 9A. What the fuck?
Oh, I can't clap for that.
Both.
I can't clap for that.
Both the Bald Move and the community selected Walking Dead season 9A as our biggest miss. I'm actually kind of surprised by both of those results.
I am as well.
So, and we did it. The Walking Dead number 1, 2 Bird Box, 3 Homecoming, 4 Buster Scruggs, 5 A Star Is Born. I think that the argument for The Walking Dead is if someone has saw 4 episodes, like half of the half season, it was entertaining in the way that would have made for a good Bald Move podcast. And the overall quality and sense of just giving a shit was much higher from the episodes I saw. So unfortunately, I think we put it to bed prematurely, much like the zombies themselves. The community selected Walking Dead 9% of the total vote, Haunting of Hill House at 7%. That was definitely a big miss.
Yeah, no, I agree. Second biggest?
Second
maybe.
biggest?
I don't know.
Ozark at 6%.
So this is weird because we did actually cover this. Cecily and I did a podcast on Ozark. A couple of them. No, just one.
Well, it's the biggest community miss.
Yeah,
then.
I feel like the next award show we need a category for the community fucking up because there's coverage out there if you want it.
Got to watch out. There are bosses, Jim. Can't make the bosses look too bad. Atlanta at number 6 and Killing Eve. And actually...
Those are fair.
Like just a 1/10 of a percentage point separated those latter ones. Ozark, Atlanta, and Killing Eve. I hear a lot about Killing Eve. It actually made the top 10 list of several reviewers that I kind of respect. Yeah. Do you know anything about it?
No.
Okay. Is this going to... So I will say that we are taking... We felt a lot of these, and we're taking steps to try to ameliorate this in 2019. We're going to try to see more, especially Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and other streaming original content, so we can get ahead of the Hauntings and Bird Boxes and Buster Scruggs of the world.
And Kingdoms.
Kingdoms, yeah, we got that in spades. We got Kingdoms for days this year. And also, I think... if there is a week that there's not a compelling movie, we're going to go back and see something we missed. So hopefully that will catch stuff like A Star Is Born. So that is the biggest miss.
Wide shot for
the biggest miss hit my microphone perfectly if you're watching at home. Next category, Jim. What do we got?
We have worst career suicide.
Ooh, there were a lot of career suicides this year.
There were, and it was a lot of fun talking about them. That's one of the deliberation areas that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. So this isn't a main category nor a user category. This is just something that Jim and I did just on our own. What do we got for our nominees?
In no particular order, we have Kevin Spacey,
Oof.
Louis C.K., Kevin Hart, Roseanne Barr, and rounding out the top 5, James Gunn.
Yeah, that's a solid list of suicides. Who's the winner?
The winner is... No drum roll. Kevin Spacey.
Boo.
Kevin Spacey. I can't clap for him either. Yeah, boo.
If you don't know, look at the YouTube video, search for Let Me Be Frank, and keep in mind that he released this the day that he was arraigned for raping a person in court. And then think of how anyone could... We might name the award after Kevin Spacey in future years because I think this is a category that's going to have some staying power. But holy shit, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. And hopefully we'll never see something like that again. But I don't know.
Yeah, I recommend the deliberations on that. We had a lot of fun.
Commission podcast. This is me, and this is another user category. Now, commission podcast is probably going to be something that's retired this year. I know we have a few fantasy football awards that we have to give out for the winners of those leagues. We do have a couple of... we haven't forgotten about the community commissions that had some straggler shares from when we shut this thing down. But by and large, commissions are probably going to be a thing of the past. But they've been... Have a long and storied career in Bald Move. Maybe they'll come back. Who knows? We grade these roughly on a index we call the Surprise Fun Interest and Media Quality Index. Jim and I rate these on a score from 1 to 5, and then we kind of see what list comes up, and we try to juke it to get the result we want. That's how we do it. Let's see how the users do it. Our nominees, in no particular order, are Dr. Strangelove, Hard Boiled, which was a live watch, controversial nomination right off the bat. The Thing, JFK, and Heat. let's see who won and what the users had to say. With these really strong envelopes. All right, the Bald Move Award for Best Commissioned Podcast. Dr. Strangelove, Stanley Kubrick, accepts the Stewie, the Patrick from the grave. Rounding out the top 5 is Hard Boiled, The Thing, JFK, and Heat. Again, these are the ones we had we found the most surprising, the most fun, the most interesting, and if all else fails, the best movie. Rounding out the top 10 is Blade Runner at 6, The Final Cut, Looper at 7, It Follows at 8, The Exorcist at 9, and 10, Highlander. Are you curious? Oh, wait, you've got the answer on the screen.
Know.
Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Community picked American Psycho, 9%.
They did. I can't help but notice that only one of our picks is on the community list.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that we rate surprise, because the community doesn't give a shit about that, right?
Yes.
So everything else I could see.
Surprise vexes us a lot too. Surprise is something we kind of put into to keep like the surprise foreign films from getting just steamrolled, and that kind of gives them a chance to, because they're not necessarily as much fun because we haven't seen them and they're more difficult topics. And but anyway, I think you're right, because the audience doesn't give the surprise thing a shit.
And actually, now that I'm looking at this, these got almost the same amount of votes.
They were I'm telling you, all of these were separated by like 2 to 3/10%.
Yeah.
But pretty good. The Community was American Psycho at 9%. It Follows at 9%. A Few Good Men at 8%. The Thing at 8%. Blade Runner Final Cut at 8%. These were all fun and interesting commissions. And I hope you guys enjoyed the twilight of the Bald Move commission process. And Jim, that brings us to bringing the ceremony down a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Worst disappointment.
And you have to include these simply because, sometimes when you're watching TV, you don't enjoy everything that you expect to enjoy.
Yep.
And we have to account for that somehow, so we have the worst disappointment.
The Bald Move Razzies, the Brazzies.
Let's go through these in no particular order. The Romanoffs, Westworld Season 2, Netflix shit-canning their Marvel division, Pacific Rim Uprising, and Ocean's 8.
Okay.
And the winner is, I think the Romanoffs.
What? I mean, I don't want to say piece of shit, but yeah, it's what's the opposite of clapping? Booing. I guess. Boo.
Yeah, that's what we did for Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I feel like Matthew Weiner doesn't deserve that level of derision.
No, absolutely not.
He likely sexually harassed a female coworker, did not rape her. Do you think that? I mean, I just don't know what to say about the Romanoffs. It was a complete creative failure. It was not good. It was not interesting. It was not even particularly well done. It seems lazy and indulgent, and as a way for Matthew Weiner to trot the globe to beautiful locations with his camera equipment. I don't know. I got nothing else to say.
And we had huge expectations going in. So
there's a huge disappointment fall off from 1 to 2, because
there is. Yeah.
Westworld Season 2 is disappointing because of Season 1 was so great.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's not it's a Season 2 of Mr. Robot. It's a slight step back. I have every faith that they'll take a step forward. Do you want to talk I think also Netflix shit canning their Marvel division. I don't think it's Netflix's fault, but
right.
It's disappointing because I think Daredevil is the best thing. Daredevil Season 3 is the best thing they've ever done. And then Disney takes their ball and goes home. So what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you do? Let's move on to comedy. This is a typically cursed category because this is very subjective, and the dramedies and the pure comedies playing together always seems problematic to me. But we also have an envelope here, and the nominees, and again, no particular order, are Atlanta Season 2, Barry Season 1, BoJack Horseman Season 5, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Lucky Season 13, and Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling for Season 2. And once again, the winner for Best Bald Move Comedy. Man, pins and needles on this one. What would he pick? Hey, Atlanta!
Oh,
the Dong
yeah.
Lover. Dong Lover takes
the
the gold home for Atlanta. Barry at number 2, BoJack at number 3, It's Always Sunny at number 4, Glow at number 5, and then you could go down there. American Vandal season 2 at 6, A Futile and Stupid Gesture, The National Lampoon Story at 7, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver at 8, Santa Clarita Diet 9, and Silicon Valley 10. So the Community, The Good Place at 13%.
Yeah, I feel like that's right. I heard so much talk about The Good Place, and it was something that we simply don't have a place to cover. Like these comedies, you know, I oftentimes will not engage with a comedy simply because we're not going to cover it, and I have so many dramas to watch.
Right.
And Good Place, unfortunately, fell victim to that.
I'm definitely going to watch before, because I think they just wrapped up their second season. I'm definitely going to watch it before the next season, because I've heard also that this is a bit meatier, that this is something that maybe you could discuss as a drama, but I don't know. But certainly we missed it as part of our ranking. Barry at number 10, Marvelous Miss Maisel at 10%, Atlanta at 10%, and It's Always Sunny at 6%. So I feel like it's Atlanta and Barry and Always Sunny. I mean, we share 3 out of 5. That's not bad, right?
Yeah, especially for comedies. And a lot of this is stuff that Aaron watched that I was unable to get to. So.
Yeah, and there's a couple either that I didn't get to see all of, like Big Mouth. I really thought the first 2 or 3 episodes were funny, but I didn't get to see enough of it to judge it. Comedy's a tough one. It's not our forte.
Yeah.
Best debut / pilot, Jim.
All right. In no particular order, the top 5 nominees are The Terror Season 1, Sharp Objects, Barry Season 1, Homecoming Season 1, and The Haunting of Hill House. And the winner is The Terror Season 1.
The Terror. The Terror.
Yeah, The Terror it kind of came out of nowhere. It's on a network that hasn't been known for quality as of late.
Would you like to flip the screen to it so we can talk about it?
I can't. There's no...
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No screen to flip to.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's on a network that has been doing stuff that we're not really appreciating lately. So it was kind of a huge surprise from that perspective. Yeah,
and I also, when I heard the pitch, AMC's doing this weird ghost ship thing. That sounds terrible. Setting around the art, but boy, I was wrong. That was a great premise. It was a great setup. Had beautiful visuals, great character moments, genuine horror and dread and uncanny. And honestly, it's going to be interesting to see The Terror and Sharp Objects duel for best drama, because you'd think, since they're both rookie shows,
you would already know
the order would be the same. You would think. As a betting man, I'd put a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the? We also had, I guess, Altered Carbon made it to our top 10. Maniac, Star Trek Discovery Season 1, Castle Rock, and Jack Ryan rounded up our top 10. Yeah, but I think we're ready to move on to the next category.
We are.
Biggest surprise. This is another Jim and Aaron only category, and we had a top 5 in no particular order. Hashtag Save the Expanse. This is the fan-led campaign to save the science fiction sci-fi show The Expanse. That was successful. It was now going to be made by Amazon. 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the anime manga inspired interdimensional portal traveling Spider-Man animated movie. Barry Season 1, The Terror Season 1, and Homecoming Season 1. Interesting. The winner, hashtag Save the Expanse.
All right. Yeah.
I'm glad The Expanse got saved.
That's a good one.
Glad The Expanse got saved. Why was it the biggest surprise, Jim?
Honestly, I was shocked. It's the way it happened. The way that The Expanse got saved. It was both this community push, and you see these online petition things fail all the time.
All the time.
They almost always fail. In this case, it seems like some billionaire swooped down in his private jet to salvage this whole thing.
I think that's literally what happened. It's not even a seeming. It's
It was shocking, because normally you would say, okay, well, there's a press release from this company which has decided that, they're going to buy the rights to this thing. No, it was just Jeff Bezos basically saying, yeah, I'm doing this.
Right.
Thing.
I love The Expanse. I don't want it to go off the air.
It's crazy. And I don't know. We finally have come back around on Jeff Bezos. He's the Copper Lord has done some good in the world.
Yeah. Some of those pennies he stole from us probably went to funding a 3 seconds of CGI for The Expanse.
Yeah, one anti-grav scene.
Also, I don't know if you read this in the Hollywood Reporter, but I heard that Jeff Bezos' wife said, "If you acquire the rights to this show, I swear to God, I'm walking out."
Yeah, he did it anyway.
And guy puts half of his fortune on the line for something. You got to respect that.
The most expensive show in history, right?
It should
by
be.
That measure. Yeah. I mean, it's like
absolutely. Yeah. When you factor
$500 billion.
When you factor in the dissolution of his marriage, easy. All right. We are ready for for one of the big prestige categories, Best Male Actor.
All right. We're back to the envelopes. I'm happy about that. Let's go ahead and
this isn't drama or comedy. We throw them all in here and make them fight for blood sport.
All right. The nominees for Best Male Actor: Jared Harris as Captain Francis Crozier in The Terror, Gary Carr as Cece in The Deuce, Bill Hader as Barry in what's the name of that show? Barry.
Barry.
Brian Tyree Henry as Alfred Paperboy Miles in Atlanta, and Adam Negacious as Cornelius Hickey in The Terror.
Oh boy.
Let's find out who wins.
Drummer's getting out of sync.
Yeah, the whole envelope's out of sync. And the winner is Jared Harris as Captain Francis Crozier in The Terror.
Jared.
Good job,
Mr. Harris. Jared. You did such a good job. What an emotional arc he took us through that season in The Terror.
Truly excellent.
And I tell you what, this was some stiff competition. I think the first time that the comedian or the so-called comedies came to the duel. We had two from Barry and Atlanta making it onto the top 10, and honestly, The Terror dominating the top 5.
Yeah,
with 2 nominations. What's our pitch for? If you like Jared Harris, you liked him in as his kind of mild-mannered bookkeeper in the series Mad Men. Well, come see him as a 19th century polar explorer that might be losing his mind because of lead consumption.
Yeah, come see the range of Jared Harris.
Yeah.
Because, you think of him as that bookish kind of person.
But here he's a dynamic commander figure. Then Gary Carr as Cece, easily the best of the pimps on HBO's The Deuce. Bill Hader, amazing work in Barry. Brian Tyree Henry as Paperboy for Atlanta. All these guys. Let's talk about the community. Who won the community list?
This is interesting. Bob Odenkirk as Saul Goodman for Better Call Saul. 20% of the vote. That's huge. That is 8% above the next one. Jeffrey Wright is Bernard Lowe in Westworld. So Bob Odenkirk might be a controversial one when you go watch our deliberations because he didn't make it very high on this list.
I mean it's tough because it's tough for me to give it to somebody when I don't think they did their best work on this show. Like I think this isn't as good as the work he did, particularly in like season 2 and season 3.
Okay, so this season,
but it's I think it's a little bit of a popularity contest. It's no coincidence that's probably the biggest show other than Westworld, which was the number 2 actor that we covered last year. But I also want to give the community some props for picking Zahn McLaren as Akichita on Westworld. He got 8% of votes, and he's fucking awesome. That episode is almost worth watching as a standalone. And then Wes Chatham as Amos Burton. Finally, my man got some fucking love. 5% of the community it was enough to put him at the number 5 spot in the community.
That gives me hope that next year when we come back for The Expanse, there are going to be more people tuning in.
I think so. I think we've been talking it up enough, and we've cultivated enough science fiction fantasy nerds in our fan base that we'll pretend good things for season 4 and our coverage of same. All right, that's the men out of the way. Most underappreciated bald move content. aka the Navel Gazer. This is essentially Jim and I's estimation of things we did that the community went meh to, and we wanted to talk about it. In no particular order, the 2018 Christmas celebration, Merry Giamatti Christmas.
It's a very Giamatti Christmas.
Very Giamatti Christmas. 2, Super Serious Film Fest, presumably starring one Nick Cage, the season of the Cage. 3, twitch.tv/baldmove. 4, The Deuce, or coverage of same. And 5, the Beltalota, the officially unofficial Expanse podcast. And the winner is the 2018 Christmas Bald Move celebration, a very Giamatti Christmas. I go see. I mean, if you want to hear our full thoughts on this, go see the deliberations. But we thought you guys would love it, and a lot of people, some people did. A lot of people didn't get it, and many more didn't even engage with the material. So we will be doing hopefully more of what you actually want in a Christmas celebration next year, because we didn't tend to Grinch it up. We did not intend to steal your Bald Move Christmas.
No, this category could easily be titled, like, what did Bald Move learn in 2018?
Yes.
We learned that there are certain things you expect of us, and those are probably things we should deliver for you. Yeah,
short form, weirdo, experimental, paper doll footage involving Paul Giamatti losing his mind in a Christmas play. Not top on Bald Move's Christmas list.
Yeah.
So we'll learn from that next year. And also, y'all watch the fucking Deuce and Expanse, all right? They're the 2 of the best shows on television, and it is a scandal how few people watch those shows and listen to the ensuing podcasts. Okay, what's our next category, Jim?
It's time for Best Female Actor.
Ooh, another loaded category.
Yes.
Prestige category.
Are some truly fantastic performances by the likes of, in no particular order, Amy Adams as Camille Preaker in Sharp Objects, Patricia Clarkson as Adora Krellin in Sharp Objects, Emily Mead as Laurie Madison in The Deuce, Maggie Gyllenhaal as Eileen Merrill, or a.k.a. Candy, in The Deuce, and Aubrey Plaza as Lenore Lenny Busker in Legion.
All right.
And the winner is... Give me about a minute and a half. Oh, no, this one. That one was
gave it
easy.
up.
Yeah. And the winner is Amy Adams as Camille Preaker in Sharp Objects.
Congratulations, Miss Adams. This is Miss Adams' first Baldy award.
Probably
and her first
not her
nomination.
last, if I had to guess.
No, I don't know how long Bald Move's got in it, but I'm sure she's got many awards left in her. This was one of my favorite shows this year, and it is it's not. I wouldn't say it's not like anything I've ever seen, because it has elements of True Detective. It has elements in all these true crimes, but the strong female cast and the particularly interesting and relevant subject matter to again, it managed to generate some genuine suspense. One of the best villains of all time, and that explains why Amy and Patricia are both up here.
Yeah, and we had a hard time deciding between which one of them would win this award.
Yeah, this was a tough. It was. I felt like this was all of. Anytime you got tons, like when you're talking about actors, and you're talking about the best, when you got a top 20 list, it's like usually the top 15 are pretty fucking deep. And how do you? It's these are always the longest deliberations and the toughest ones. But yeah, glad to see Amy Adams. This is her. She not for individual achievement, but her her movie The Arrival cleaned up. Wasn't that last year?
Yes,
I think so.
It was.
I think so. So good job, Amy. Let's look at the audience results.
Yeah, they also pegged Amy Adams right there at the top. Camille Preaker, Sharp
Look
Objects.
at the percentage.
I know, it's insane. 20% over the next best.
Over a third of the Baldies, of the Bald Movers, selected Amy Adams. So I felt like we were in very good company there.
Absolutely. And rounding out the bottom, the top 5 rather, Ray Seahorn as Kim Wexler for Better Call Saul. Good, solid percentage, 15%. Tandy Newton as Maeve in Westworld, 10%. Elizabeth Moss as June Osborne, Offred AKA Offred in Handmaid's Tale, 9%. That's an interesting one because I hadn't seen any of it, and I think you saw like 3, 4
I saw like the first 3 episodes of the season.
Yeah, so it kind of got short shrift. in our deliberations, which if you want to hear that full thing, you can go do that. And finally, rounding out the list is Patricia Clarkson, Asadora Krellin, and Sharp Objects with 5% of the vote. I'm kind of shocked that Patricia is not higher.
Also, if you are a comic book fan or a fan of like really interesting dramas that do a lot of interesting visual things, you should really watch Legion. And Aubrey Plaza is so next level in that fucking thing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've loved Aubrey Plaza since Community, or not Community, since Parks and Rec. But holy moly, I've never seen her capable of doing stuff like this, and I'm really excited to see more Legion this year. Okay, anything else we wanna talk about? I really wanted some Atlanta love in there because I think Zazie Beetz is really incredible, and she's typically given at least one episode per season to kind of shine, and this was no different. But
she just got inched out of that.
Yeah,
top
Aubrey.
five.
She's just you know, she should be locked in some kind of psychosexual interdimensional combat to get to the top 5 this year is what you need. All right, shall we move on to
Let's do it.
the number one most prestigious Baldy category, arguably, our reason d'etre,
Yep.
our bread and our butter. It's the drama. Oh, I just want to open up the envelope.
Don't do that.
So best drama in no particular order: Sharp Objects, The Expanse, The Deuce, The Terror, The Flop, The River, and Homecoming. Let's see who won both Community and Bald Move editions of this award. Best drama. Ooh, I see Amy Adams over there sweating. She wants her second Baldy.
She doesn't get to accept it.
And she gets it for Sharp Objects.
Oh, man.
No,
All right.
Best drama, HBO Sharp Objects. Yeah, I mean, this actually surprised myself because I thought going into like, you know, the Expanse would win because it was my favorite show. It's the most enjoyable show. But when you talk about best, because I enjoyed the hell out of Sharp Objects, and it's a great show, and it just brought a little bit extra of intangibles to kind of squeeze the Expanse out of its number 2 slot.
Yeah, I want to say it was probably more personal for you, especially. And so, yeah, it squeezed out the fantastic sci-fi drama.
Then we had number 3, The Deuce, number 4, Terror, number 5, Homecoming, and then rounding our top 6 was Legion at 6, 7, The Haunting of Hill House, 8, Daredevil Season 3, 9, Maniac, and 10, Ozark. The Community, interestingly enough, agreed with us. Sharp Objects and The Expanse getting 17 and 13% of the vote, respectively. That is super cool. And again, I'm really looking forward to Season 4 of The Expanse. Better Call Saul got 10%. The Americans, final season at 7%.
Yeah, not surprised by that. A lot of critics were going on about that. Unfortunately, I hadn't seen it.
And we also had Westworld at 5%. So that is that all the Baldies we got? I think that's...
Nope, we're not quite done.
We're not quite done?
Nope.
All right. I was about ready to say goodnight to everybody and tell everybody to tip their waiter.
We have a couple that seem out of order, or perhaps we went out of order here. We did not do the return to form category.
Oh, shit. You're right. Why did I skip that?
Skipped over that.
I'm so sorry. I just fucked it up.
Yeah.
All right. Let me fix this up. Return to form. So return to form category is for shows that have gone on to make more things, and then maybe those things weren't as great as former things. And then they've got back in the game. They got their head back in the game. It could go for movie franchises, television series, networks, creators, whatever. Our nominees for this year in no particular order: Daredevil Season 3, Serial Season 3, the podcast, Silicon Valley Season 5, The Haunting of Hill House Season 1. Oh, right. I forgot your argument about that. And The Walking Dead Season 9. And again, no particular order. The winner is Daredevil Season 3.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Who would have known if you substitute mystical immortal ninjas and you put the Kingpin back in, that Daredevil instantly becomes twice as good? And, in my opinion, the first of the Marvel Netflix collaborations that didn't feel bloated.
Yeah.
Like, didn't feel like multiple episodes could have been cut out and nobody would have missed a thing. It's a great swan song for the Marvel experiment on Netflix, if that's what it ends up being. Yeah, there we go. What was your, so just so people know, the argument for Hill House being returned to form
is that this is a remake of a translation from a book.
Because this is originally a 1964 novel that became, like, I think, a 1960s horror film.
Right.
That then became
a Catherine Zeta-Jones 1990s film.
Was it not? Yeah, 90s or early 2000s.
That then became The Haunting of Hill House, TV show on Netflix.
Right. And you don't think much of the Catherine Zeta-Jones version.
No, I would call that a big flop.
PG-13 CGI horror fest. Come on.
Yeah, it's not great, but Haunting of Hill House was, and so for that franchise, I very much believe it's a return to form. And
for more information on that, of course, see the deliberations. Jim,
okay,
I think
we have one more category.
What should be the final category, and which is now, because of its placement in the show, the most prestigious.
Right. We saved the best for last.
And this was entire. So Jim and I had no input on this. This was entirely submitted. This was entirely a list of nominated moments. These are in the listeners and the community's subjective opinion, the best bald move moment. And I don't know what order.
We can't guarantee they were subjective in their opinions.
We're just I don't think you've even seen the nominees on this. I've seen the nominees.
I have not. Should I read them?
Well, I mean,
should I read the nominees?
I think we should just open up the list and talk about it.
Okay. Here we go. We also saved the most ferocious envelope for last. There we go. The winner of the most prestigious Top Bald Move Moment Award is the Black Klansman podcast with 15% of the vote.
Yeah. So that's a powerful film, and it provoked a powerful reaction in the podcast, and had far-reaching repercussions. It led to numerous people being banned from the forums and social media outlets, and like things in the country itself got a little ugly there for a minute.
Yeah, it led to both anger and praise. And all the gamut of emotions that humanity brings to the table. Just
a few tenths of a point behind that, the Groundhog Day 24-hour charity marathon.
Yeah.
I mean, if you miss that, the good news is you can get on the ground floor for the phase 2, which is not this weekend, which is the actual Groundhog's Day, but next weekend. And instead of what we did last year is we watched the movie Groundhog's Day for 24 hours on repeat. This year we're going to attempt to make it through all of the Star Wars movies in order in 24 hours, and we're raising money for the National Alliance to End Homelessness. Last year we made over $10,000 for that charity. We'll see what we do this year, but it's a moment that lasted 24 hours,
right.
But there's a lot of great individual moments. And, when I was compiling the nominees, there's probably 5 different moments from that people said, and that had all kind of put into this but yeah, big contrast. Like, Black Klansman was a moment of like kind of anger and injustice, and Groundhog's Day was a moment of like just genuine celebration of what an awesome community, supportive community and generous community.
And at number 3, there was also another celebration of sorts, the end of the Walking Dead podcast, where we brought the fiesta back.
The finale fiesta.
Yeah. And it was kind of a clip show, but I felt like it was a warranted clip show, and apparently the community did too. They really enjoyed that.
And then at number 4, Guy Ferrari. And what's interesting is I was going to get clips, but I realized that all of these were individual pieces of entertainment, or they were all entirely contained by the Walking Dead Fiesta podcast. If you want to see the birth of Guy Ferrari, you can listen to the Fiesta podcast and get that in. And then finally, I don't know what to do about this year, because I find it hard to describe an entire category of premium bald move club content as a best moment, but a lot of people love the lunches, and a lot of people failed to mention an individual moment from the lunches. Or actually, there were individual moments for some of the lunches, and they just weren't able to outmuscle the lunch. Maybe I shouldn't have put lunches. Maybe I should have gone for the individual moments.
Yeah, I mean, maybe next year we do something like best of bald move to make it more general.
Yeah, or like best moment. Well, it says best top bald move moment.
Yeah, moment is maybe too specific. We'll figure it out.
The users, the listeners, the community's heart wants what the community's heart wants. So it was an interesting year for Bald Move, to say the least. A lot of our big shows weren't on. A lot of big shows are going to be returning in 2019. It goes without saying, like, I think there's only one show on the top 10 that returned from last year, because there was no Stranger Things, there's no Game of Thrones, there's no Mr. Robot, there was no Fargo. There's a lot of our big staples missed last year. Mm-hmm. So 2019 shaping up to be another interesting big year. But that's how we look at it. Again, if you have any questions, if you're hungry for more discussion about what was best about 2018, there are literally hours and hours and hours of both video and podcast format versions of those deliberations that we engaged in for all of these categories. So if you're into that, if you check out the post body of the podcast you're listening to, there's links to all that content. We tried to kind of edit them together into 4 more easily digested packages and have 7, 8, 9, 10 videos and podcasts to watch. But they're all collected here in this category, and you can browse it by looking at the show notes, and they're all kind of interlinked. So thank you for making 2018 a great year. Thanks to all of the artists that we mentioned that came together and made all this great content for us all to enjoy. Thanks to the community for supporting us and enjoying it along with us. Can't wait to see what 2019 holds. Maybe Expanse will make it over the hump and bring home some Baldy gold. Until then, as always, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Jim.
Good night.